everyone. I'm just gonna do a fast video tonight. It's Sunday night. Oh, I hate Mondays. I dread them. But I thought I'd just do a video. This is how I look on a Sunday evening. Hair up, whatever. I'm being authentic. So, it's interesting because I've been talking with my mom, who's a type 9, and I'm a 4, and so she and I have been coming to different realizations and understandings about our two types. So I'm probably going to do a few more videos about this, but I was just wanting to, I don't think I've ever disclosed this story in full, but my very first boyfriend I ever had was a type 9, and he was an incredibly unhealthy type 9, now that I know, but I remember I can't imagine him doing anything that doesn't involve him getting up off the couch. There was such a laziness and a sloth to him. And I mean, when I knew him, we were like teenagers, and I was like 14. So, but the thing is, they say about the 9 is that the 9 will tell you what you want to hear because they want to keep the peace as a means of avoiding any kind of confrontation. And that's something he would always do. And he would resort to a lot of passive aggression. So like what he would do is he'd say, oh, I'll call you on, this week. It's either this day or this day. He'd say, one of those 3 days I'll call you. And the first day would come and go, the second day, and then the third day he wouldn't call. And again, he would always put up promises and make these promises that he would never deliver. So he could never really be forthright or ever at all. And I remember, because when I was young, and again, I do think he was a narcissist, but interesting how he would just tell me what I wanted to hear in the moment. So this one experience really illustrates that. So I remember when I was it's my second year in school in university, and I came to realize that he was attending another school that happened to not be very far away. It was only maybe less than an hour away, and this was an opportunity where we could have met up again. And so he wasn't very far away, and when I came to realize this, I don't remember if I'd called him or he'd called me. I probably called him and he had told me this, and then he had called me back. And so he would do just enough, to show just enough interest in return, but then not really follow through. So I said, oh, wow, you're only 45 minutes away. We could totally meet up. And so we agreed one night to meet up, and this is, when I'm in school, so I would stay up late, and I think we agreed that he was going to come by around 11:30 at night or something like that. And because, back then I would just stay up most of the night, so that was still early. And so I remember hearing from him, we agreed upon that. He said, okay, well, I'll be at your dorm at, whatever time, 11:30 that night. And I'd heard from him that same evening. He called me, and it was 6 o'clock in the evening or so, or whatever, a few hours before. And he said, all right, well, I have your address, and I'll meet you there, and I'll be there at this time. Great, went about my business. I did my thing. I think I went out to eat, blah, blah, blah. Came back, and, around the time came, 11-ish or so. This is the 90s, so there's pre-cell phone, texting. So I had to sit outside. I was sitting outside my dorm waiting for him to arrive. And, it was at whatever it was 11 o'clock. I'm sitting out there. 11:30 comes by, 11:45, midnight. Okay, he's not coming by. So I'm immediately thinking, oh, what if he'd gotten into an accident? What if he's gotten lost? All these things that maybe, things didn't work out. And during this time, I'm going back up to my dorm room, trying to call his number, see if I can get any information, which of course I can't. Going back and forth. I'm basically sitting outside waiting for him to arrive, which he's not doing. So I get upstairs, finally I call his dorm one last time, and his roommate answers. And I said to him, the roommate, I said, is there? Or not is he there? What time did dickhead, jerkface, whatever, called him by his name, what time did he leave? Do you know when he left? And he goes, oh, no, he's right here. He's right here. I'll get him on the phone for you. I said, what do you mean he's right there? Roommate passes the phone to the old boyfriend. He gets on the phone, and he sounds somewhat incoherent or spaced out. And I say to him, where are you? Why are you there? You said you were going to be here. I've been waiting outside for you for over an hour, like probably an hour and a half. And he says to me, I lost track of time. And I was like, what do you mean you lost track of time? He said, I wasn't near a clock. I'm not making this up. I wasn't near a clock. I was like, you don't have a watch? I don't have a watch. You're not near a clock? I wasn't near a clock. I don't understand. You said you were going to be here. I've been waiting outside. What are you doing? He says to me, and this is, I think, honestly, to hurt me. He says, I was getting laid. And at that point, I just let him have it. I literally laid into him. I said, you're fucking crazy. I said, you're batshit. I mean, I didn't say the word batshit. I don't think that was around then. But I said, you're crazy. You're insane. You're absolutely insane. And then I guess I don't remember how it manifested, but somehow the roommate got back on the phone. But I ended up talking to the roommate, and I don't remember if it was before this exchange or after, but the roommate said, oh yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. He'll go into a room and he'll forget what he's doing, and 5 seconds later he'll forget. And I got the sense that the roommate was pretty empathic, and he was trying to, he felt sorry for me. Basically, his roommate's like, this guy's a dickhead. Don't waste your time. And I was like, wow, this is the friends you have who don't speak well of you. But yeah, so this guy was a total type 9 because he never had any ambitions in life or motivations, and he's a really unhealthy stereotype of what you think a 9 is. And but the fact that he told me in the moment, oh yeah, I'll be there. Oh yeah, because it's great. He gets that positive, fuel, that reinforcement. But then when confronted with it, he does this passive aggressive shit. I wasn't near a clock. Why the hell would you want to agree to meet with me if you're not going to show up? Like, why would you do that other than to just be an asshole, to be cruel? And I remember there would be times when, he would behave, he would say things that were, bad, and he was cruel in certain ways. Again, I believe he was a narcissist. And I'd say, why do you say those things? And he'd say, because I'm an asshole. And that was sort of his answer. I'm just an asshole. And again, that's such a cop-out. That's such a lazy piece of shit excuse. It's just like, yeah, you are, but it doesn't excuse what the fuck you're doing, right? So, furthermore, when it came to this guy, this was the mid-90s. I didn't speak to him for a long time after. I don't know if it wasn't until, in earlier videos I speak about, finding him again on Facebook 10 years ago. And this is when I was extremely stressed and very unhealthy, and I was at a 2 point. And this is where I was searching up people from my past. And I found him, and I was like, oh, ha ha ha, let's connect up, blah, 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 blah. And, it's just like, here's a guy who just literally had no regards for my feelings, no regards for me at all, kept me waiting outside. I'm getting laid, I'm not near a clock, like totally inconsiderate. And here I am saying, in my head, thinking, oh, that was when we were young, let's leave it at that. And then after, I remember when I heard from him on Facebook, he's like, "Oh, give me your number. Let's see. Let's meet up. Not meet up in person, but let's how have you been? Blah blah blah." And of course he never called. So it's like he never changed, and he's still the same way. And then after that, I mean, when I was Facebook friends with him, I was Facebook friends with him for a couple years or so, but it was one of those friends you never hear from and who just sort of exists. And then I finally got to a point and I said to myself, why in fucking hell do I have this guy as a Facebook friend? He has always been a jerk. He treated me like crap. He had no regard for my feelings. Delete. So that was actually a nice liberating moment. So, so that's some examples of the unhealthy 9. But again, like I said, I do think he had a narcissistic personality disorder. And that's where I kind of it gets a little shady in terms of the Enneagram, because I'm like, kind of you fall under the DSM-5. These traits kind of apply across all types. And the Enneagram gives you this idea that you're capable of integration. And if you're a narcissist, you're not. And from what I gather, he hasn't changed. I mean, he can't really commit in relationships, and he has very low-level goals. I think last time I heard he was working in a casino, and he just kind of is the kind of guy who just gets by to pay his bills, and he comes home and he plays games on Facebook, like not word games. He was playing little stupid games, but he's not motivated enough to actually purchase a video game. But he plays these games and he drinks Miller Lite and smokes and, just doesn't appreciate anything artistic or, for who I was, and so yeah, I thought that was, just wanted to share that experience. The 9 and the 4, they do share that that same kind of relationship with identity, whereas 4s have to withdraw to find their identity, whereas 9s tend to merge with others, and they kind of they let others kind of define them, at least when they're not in the best of states, healthy states. And I have to say though, it's like 9s love 3s. They just love 3s, 3s their integration point. And I actually think that when 9s are idealizing 3s, it's really not for the healthiest reasons. It's always for the superficial, shallow, external, vapid reasons. And I know I have a person in my life who I know who is a 9, and I found when he is the most unhealthy, he idealizes this 3 who's a douchebag. And I'm like, stop fucking putting this 3 on a pedestal. And honestly, the best person for you right now is a 4, me. Someone like me. I don't mean romantically, I mean just to talk with. But I notice and I'm not trying to be egotistical here, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I mean, literally, what his lack is, and this is this other individual, it's not the boyfriend, it's like he doesn't know what he wants in life. So he's constantly always thinking, I gotta go back to school and do this, do that, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. And I always think of going back to school or people getting degrees is sort of like, the last resort when you really have no life plans. It's like, I have no idea who I am, and I'm just going to go back to school and let some institution and structure define it for me. And as type 4, it's not something that I lean towards, especially given that I'm a creative type, I'm a writer. So, I found that this individual, when he's healthier, he talks to me, and it seems like he grows and he gains insight, because I feel like what he needs most is really to look within and not rely on these external things. Because I was noticing that he was for so long stagnant in his growth, and this is the same for the ex-boyfriend, is that sometimes 9s can be so stagnant in their growth, they're willing to stay in the same place their entire lives. Like, I want to be a frat boy or whatever. Or, I just want to sit around and do nothing all day, or drink or play games. And they're satisfied doing this. And it's not until they notice those around them who are moving on in life, getting other jobs, getting, having families, getting this, getting that, showing these external validations of success, that the 9 starts to feel like a 4 and think, God, I'm lacking something. So very often then that 9 will start to merge with that strong 3 or that strong assertive type, thinking, I'm going to just merge with these strong types and that'll make me strong. But unfortunately, that's really not how it works, because what the 9 needs to do is to seek inward and really ask themselves. And that's one of the things I asked my this person I knew, what is it you want in life? When he said, I need to go back to school, I need to be doing this, I said, according to whom? Whose rules do you live by? Whose life do you live? And he just paused and he stopped and he said, thank you for saying that. And it's like, but he appreciated it in the moment, but then he goes back to it when he's stressed. I noticed he goes back to that. I need to be like this, I need to do that, because he sees others doing it. And whereas that's different than the 4. The 4's like, others are doing that, I don't want to be like that. But then again, why do they have what I can't have? And why don't people recognize me? And why do they appreciate or value the 3? And that's a whole other video. But those are just some observations with regards to the 9. I just shot this off into the dark. I said yesterday when I did my reading that I wanted to do an Enneagram video, and I was busy all day. I finished working on a book of mine, which I'm going to talk about pretty soon. But I like to do a balance between the writing and the Enneagram types, because I know that I have a lot of subscribers who do enjoy my Enneagram videos, and I like to offer my thoughts on that. I mean, there's a lot more I want to say. I have a lot more I got to say about the type 4 and 5s, and I just had a great conversation with my 8 friend. So so I'm going to be in touch. I'm going to have another video. I'm going to do one next week, and just if you want to I know I sound terrible, like and subscribe and ha ha ha. I don't have the jingles on my thing. Bing bing. Oh, these people who have these pop-ups, I don't have that. I don't like those noises. I'm just me, wearing my avocado shirt. God, it looks fluorescent actually. This is like I said, this is my silly kind of Sunday shirt, and I'm wearing it in this video because I'm showing you my authentic self, and that's just who I am right now. Okay, so I'll be in touch, and thank you for listening, and hope you have a pleasant week. I know tomorrow's Monday. Oh, I hate Monday. I'm going to do a video on how much I hate Monday. Not to sound like Garfield, but sometimes I feel like it. All right. Take care.